If you tried a gut health protocol and you felt like your symptoms got worse, maybe you got tired, maybe you got the runs, it can be really confusing to tell if something is a reaction to the food you're eating or if it's just die-off. Hi everybody, my name is Selena from Wholeness Campaign. I share gut health, detoxification, and non-toxic living tips for those of you who are healing from chronic illness and trying to do things naturally. So if that sounds like you, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a video. Today I'm going to share all about detox reactions, or as some people call them, Herx reactions. Herxheimer, Herxheimer, I don't know how to say it. This can be a really common hurdle for anybody who has been trying to heal their digestive system, trying to heal leaky gut, because oftentimes the symptoms will feel like they get worse before they're getting better. Or you might be seeing great progress with this gut health protocol. You might be seeing so many good benefits and results, and then bam, like a ton of bricks, you feel like complete crap again. You're kind of feeling like, I don't know if I should even be doing this, or was I right to be doing this? In today's video, I'm going to share what a detox reaction is, how you should go about handling it according to Dr. Natasha's advice, and some perspective that may help you if you are feeling overwhelmed or discouraged about some progress that you've been making in your health and don't really know where to turn next. So what is a detox reaction? Essentially, a detox reaction is pathogens dying off. It's toxins being released and pathogens dying off. If you've watched other videos where I talk about parasites, you may already understand this, but essentially pathogens have a function in the digestive system. They operate as the cleanup crew. So people call them the bad bacteria, the bad guys. Really, they're not bad at all. Really, their function is just to clean up toxins. And so if your body is overburdened with toxins, very likely you're going to have a very high pathogenic load in your digestive system, actually all over your body, but specifically in your gut. Pathogens, yeast, bacteria, fungi, however you want to call them, it's a variety of different things. These will overgrow in the presence of toxins. Now, if you go about detoxing, so if you take something that specifically targets toxins, or if you go about altering the microbiome of your digestive system, so adding in probiotics, doing any type of kill protocol, you run the potential of having what's called a die-off reaction, where pathogens start to die off and actually get eliminated from the body, which is overall a beneficial thing. It's actually a good thing in the long run, unless you're using, antibiotics, and then that's a different story. But if you're really using natural methods like repopulating the gut with beneficial microbes or detoxing using safe chelators and binders, what's actually happening in here is a very beneficial process. But it does include a host of symptoms oftentimes, because as the yeast and the bacteria start to die off, as they are no longer needed anymore, because maybe you've done some detox work, the toxin's gone, they don't have a job anymore, they will actually die off. They don't have any food source, and so there's no need for them, and your body will actually naturally pass them. Another factor that might be happening is essentially like a war between the good and the bad guys, if you want to call it that, is when you introduce probiotic foods, it actually overpowers the pathogenic bacteria, and they essentially are kind of putting themselves back into balance by decreasing and dying off. In the process of doing that, pathogens will actually often cough up whatever they're holding. If you are overpowering them with probiotics and they're holding on to some toxins, sometimes they will cough up the toxins, which can leave your body feeling a little overwhelmed and detoxy. Or in another vein, pathogens have actually been found to cough up or exhale like hundreds of different toxic gases on their way out. And so the symptoms you're experiencing are actually from toxic gases that are being exhaled, not actually the probiotics that you started eating or the gut healing, the gut balancing that you started to do. It's actually the pathogens that are dying off. And in the process, they are releasing toxins or toxic gases. There's a whole list of symptoms that I will give here on what detox reactions or die-off reactions symptoms could be. Anything from diarrhea to brain fog, even hyperactivity can be considered a detox reaction, which is challenging because if you came into the healing process wanting to resolve something like hyperactivity or even say anxiety or depression, and you go to detox, sometimes the detox reaction can actually make those symptoms exacerbated for a little bit of time, because again, as your gut microbiome is balancing itself out, those pathogens are going to be dying off, and that's going to have an effect on your body. This is actually a really common experience for people who take antibiotics, except this is not in a good sense because they are also killing off the beneficial bacteria. So their gut microbiome is really being left with nothing to fend for. Whenever you kill off a pathogen, you do run the risk of whatever the pathogen was carrying causing some kind of reaction in the body. So that's something that a lot of people don't understand. When I am so obsessed with people not using antibiotics, this is really the reason, is that you got to go so slow and so gentle on your body, and you really want to be careful that you're not overwhelming the system. And to kill off literally everything would be overwhelming the system, if that makes sense. This is just a little side note, little secret. You actually don't need to use herbs and binders to naturally pass the pathogenic bacteria, to naturally get rid of it. If you focus most of your energy on balancing the microbiome, giving it what it needs to heal, increasing the meat stock, increasing the probiotics, really going all in on the diet and the foods you're eating, decreasing their toxic load, your body will actually naturally pass these pathogens on its own. You often don't even need binders and herbs for your body to start passing these things on its own if you're giving it the right environment to thrive in. Now, I'm not against binders and herbs necessarily, but it's something to note that people are so obsessed with that. And I think this is really the first step, is repairing the microbiome, making your gut an inhospitable place to pathogens, if that makes sense. That is going to be the gentlest way to detox. That's going to be the way that I recommend people start first, because whatever your body is willing to give up with diet change and lifestyle change in terms of decreasing the toxic burden and rebalancing that gut flora, those are going to be like the easy wins for your body. You know, depending on how toxic you are, I'm not saying it's going to be an easy process, but it generally is the more gentle way to go. And oftentimes people need a very gentle approach in this whole healing process. So how do you handle it? How do you handle a detox or Herx reaction? What do you do when you have these symptoms that are feeling like your body's going backward before it's making any kind of progress forward? Dr. Natasha's recommendations here are really to just slow down. So if you introduce a probiotic or some kind of probiotic food or brine, those are very medicinal, very therapeutic. Her recommendation is to really slow down. So if you started with a tablespoon, you may need to go back to a drop. And if you started with a drop, you might need to dilute that drop in a quart of water and take a drop of that and slowly build your body up, because these foods are so potent and so powerful. This is why I talk all about food being medicine here, is because you really don't need the antibiotic, and actually it harms your body more when you use it. What you really need is this very gentle, slow approach. So Dr. Natasha is going to say go slow. She's going to say back up if you introduce something that you're reacting to too far. And sometimes I'll just get like a runny nose at the detox reaction, but if you're feeling like migraines, if you're getting really excessive reactions, she's going to want you to slow down. So back up, eliminate the food, and go back to a smaller portion of that amount and build your capacity so slowly that your body has time to actually purge the toxins that it's releasing, to kick those pathogens out that are dying off before it's overwhelmed with like a larger amount of whatever food you're trying to introduce. Another tip here would be just to rest. Take time for your body to rest. Your body's going to need all the strength that it can to really purge these toxins and repair that balance of microbes in the gut. So resting is crucial here. And then also something else that I talk about here a lot is going to be detox support. And you're going to want to introduce really gentle methods of detox support. So that'll look like water enemas. It might look like detox baths. There are ways to make all these things more or less detoxing. And so you want to start on the slow side, just be really slow, but you're going to assist these detox pathways in moving these toxins and pathogens along. So somebody else described these die-off or detox reactions as a backlog of pathogenic bacteria, which takes basically just time to expel. So in this case, water enemas would be a great way to help your body to move dying off bacteria along out of the system, so that it's not backlogged and so that it's not causing these symptoms, or at least it's causing them less. This is also where I would work on increasing the nourishing foods, so things like meat stock and, as much as you can tolerate, egg yolks. I have like the best recipe for meat stock on my YouTube channel if you want to watch a full tutorial on what I've kind of come to be like my favorite meat stock recipe. It tastes a lot like Lipton soup, if I may say so myself, but I'll have that linked in the description box. Meat stock and those nourishing foods are really what you're going to want to lean heavy on to support the intestinal wall and the recovery of that intestinal wall. While your microbiome is rebalancing, toxins are being, thrown everywhere, and the dying off bacteria are trying to make its way out, meat stock is going to be your best friend. All the nourishing foods are going to be your best friend, but really focusing on the nourishing as opposed to the detoxifying. Dr. Natasha does say that plant foods are the detoxifying foods and animal foods are the nourishing foods. So if you're going through a bout of detox, I like to lean heavy on the nourishing foods. So animal fats, again, meat stocks, and all of these like egg yolks, cultured dairy that I can tolerate as well. So if you're going through some detox reactions and you're feeling overwhelmed by the process and maybe even discouraged about your progress in healing because it feels like you're just going backwards and not making the progress you'd hope, I want to give you some perspective that may help you kind of mentally get through this time. Your body is doing what it is meant to be doing. There's actually never really an instance where your body is failing or your body is not doing the very best that it can. And I think that's important to keep in mind here. Your body's not against you, it's actually for you. It's really doing everything possible to heal you. So if you can think of it that way, like your body's not actually like running in the opposite direction as your mind and your desire to heal, it's actually working with you the very best that it can. I have a video on this, but when we pit ourselves against our bodies in any way, we can create this kind of like internal war with ourselves where we feel like we have to make our body be a slave to something. But the reality of what's going on here is your body basically just feels strong enough to start to purge these things. And it feels like it's ready to actually do you a really good service of rebalancing that microbiome, which is so going to serve you in the long run. It knows more than you know how ready you are, how strong you are, how capable your body is, and what really needs to happen first. And so if you're experiencing a symptom in the process of detoxing, just know that your body knows what needs to be done first, and it's doing the very best possible job it can at healing you in the most efficient way. Like the body prioritizes what's best. Some of this might mean coming to a place of trusting that process. That doesn't mean you like ignore like really debilitating things. Like I said, there's things you can do to manage this detox reaction, not trying to run from it, but really acknowledging that your body's doing the very best that it can, and it's wanting ultimately to move you in the direction of health and wholeness. So I hope that's encouraging. I want you to feel encouraged and hopeful that your body's doing all that it can to heal you. If you're interested in taking a little bit more of a deep dive into gut healing, you can check out the link in the description box for my quick guide to gut health that goes through like all of the best, most important factors to healing your gut, especially if you're a beginner and just getting started. If you got any value out of this video, please subscribe to my channel. It's my passion to walk alongside people as they heal and grow. It inspires me and hopefully brings encouragement to you. Thanks for watching.